Let me read your mind and guess what happened to your last exam. So you probably entered the exam hall, sat down, collected question paper, looked at it and said to yourself, okay, I know this thing. Then when the invigilator told you, start, you tried to write and you realized, I know what I'm looking at, but I don't know what to write. And then you either gave up or contemplated doing something that we've probably all done. This is one of the most frustrating things that any student can ever experience. And almost everyone has been there. It doesn't matter how smart you think someone is, they have probably been there. And it's not because they did not study hard, but rather it's because nobody taught them how memory actually works. Now, we all grew up in institutions that told us that if we go over our materials enough times, then it will eventually stick. So what we do is we take our notes and we read them again and again and again. And when we keep forgetting again and again, our immediate instinct is, okay, I need to read more and more and more. More hours, more Monster, more caffeine. But there's a very, very big problem with that. Rereading your notes is one of the most comfortable things that you can do as a student because it requires almost no mental effort. Because effective studying is supposed to feel uncomfortable. If there is no friction between you and the information you're trying to learn, then you are probably most definitely doing something wrong. I need you to know that struggling to remember something or forgetting is not a personal failure. It is literally how your brain was designed. And once you understand that about yourself, addressing it becomes much clearer. In this video, I'm going to teach you a specific system that fights how your brain naturally forgets things. And when you get into the exam hall, you remember everything so clearly that it will almost feel illegal, like you cheated. By the way, I'm Percy Bright. I got 302 on JAMB, and I'm currently a first class student with a CGPA that is significantly above 4.5. Let's get straight into this. The forgetting curve. Now, I know that I said we need to get straight into this, but there's something you need to understand before we get into the actual system. In the 1880s, a psychologist by the name of Herman, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, it's on screen. This guy ran memory experiments on himself, and he discovered something that I feel like should have been taught in every school going forward. He discovered that without any review after learning, we forget roughly 70% of what we learned 24 hours later. Hello, not 30, not 50, not even 6, 7. 70%. I genuinely can't believe I just did that. He also discovered that within a week, almost all of it has evaporated from our brain. He plotted this on a graph and called it the forgetting curve. And this forgetting curve has been working against and is currently working against every student that is cramming the night before the exam. But calm down. He also discovered something else that is very, very important. Every time you review information at the right moment, the forgetting slows down. And your brain starts to treat the information as something that is actually worth keeping. And over time, with the right review schedule, the forgetting curve flattens out almost completely. So the goal here is not to study harder or longer. The goal is to study in such a way that fights the forgetting curve. And that's what this system is specifically built to do. This system is built around something called the 5 R's of note-taking. It was developed by a Cornell professor, Walter. God, I beg, what are these names? The name is on screen. Most students have never heard of this, and this is how it works. Number 1, record. During your lectures or reading, write down the core facts and concepts. You are not supposed to write everything word for word. You are just meant to write the important stuff. Number 2, reduce. As soon as possible after class, go back and compress what you wrote into short keywords, questions, or clues. What you are doing now is you are not rereading. You are just distilling the information. Number 3, recite. Cover your main notes or throw it away. Then using only those short clues, explain the concepts out loud in your own words like you are teaching to someone. Every point where you could not explain is a gap that you now know before the exam finds it for you. In this video up here, I went into a bit more detail. Number 4, reflect. I want you to start thinking about how information connects to things you already know. And I promise you, this step matters more than you think. Because your brain does not store information in isolation. It stores it by attaching it to other things. Here's an example. Imagine you are trying to remind a forgetful friend about a person that you had a conversation with. When you say, Afar, do you remember that guy? They go blank, Abi. But then when you say, Afar, do you remember that guy that you were telling that your favorite song is Mofe by Marvel? Immediately they remember. They didn't remember the person directly. They remembered because of the connection. That's how our brain... The lighting is a bit more exposed now, but NEPA will not shame me. As I was saying, that's how our brains work. The more connections you create around a piece of information, the harder it's going to be for you to forget. And number 5, review. Periodically test yourself on the material. Do not read, test. And this last step is where most students are very vague. They say they will come back to it and either never do or they do it the wrong way. So I'm going to give you the exact methods now. Past papers and active recall. Active recall simply involves forcing your brain to produce information rather than putting more of it into your head. And every time you successfully do that, memories become physically stronger in your brain. There are a number of ways to do this, but let me start with the most powerful one. So basically, when I was in year 11, I had not been studying at all for most of the term. Then when midterms came around, I tried to open my notes and then I realized that, I am cooked. So I was watching YouTube, okay, how can I cram this whole term in one night? Then I watched a YouTube video and someone told me, use past papers. So the next day I went to school, I went to meet my principal and I asked him if I could get access to last year's exam questions. And he gave me access to them. I went through every single one of them and I focused on only being able to answer those questions. Then those questions were the exact same things that came out in my midterm. And you best believe I crushed that stuff. And I never went back to studying without past papers ever again, even now that I'm in university. And there is a reason why this works so well. Past papers are not just practice material. They are literally previous exams set by the same people who are probably going to set yours now. And if there's anything I've learned, these guys are lazy. They are going to repeat them. So if you don't use past papers, it's like being handed the blueprint for a building and then just throwing it away and saying, hey, I'm going to guess what's inside the building. It doesn't make any sense. Have you ever wondered why exam boards like WAEC and JAMB actually give us past questions? Think about it. In universities, past papers are pretty much abundant, but not necessarily in secondary school. So if you're in secondary school, when you get to school tomorrow, ask your teacher for past papers or go to your principal. They have no reason to say no. It is an exam that has happened before already, so they should give it to you. However, if you cannot get past papers or you cannot get enough of them, then this is where AI comes in. I want you to take your study materials, your notes, your textbooks, your slides or whatever, and upload them into any AI of your choice or all of them. Then ask it to generate you questions in the standardized style of exams. Then the important thing I want you to do now is actually put effort into answering the questions. Don't half-ass it. Don't do it lazily. Treat it like an actual exam. If you have to, give yourself the same amount of time that they will give you in the exam hall. Spaced repetition and the 2-3-5-7 rule. So let me tell you something. You can use every technique in this video and you'll still forget if you review at the wrong time. Because the forgetting curve does not care about how hard you studied. All it cares about is when last you actually retrieved information. This is called spaced repetition. And the concept is very, very straightforward. Instead of reading something just once and then reviewing it the night before your exam, you space your reviews out at specific intervals. And this will keep you ahead of the forgetting curve. I remember my first semester of university. I was genuinely drowning because there was a lot of workload. It was nothing like secondary school at all. And I was behind on a lot of courses. Then I was scrolling through YouTube and I came across a tutorial on using flashcards and spaced repetition. So I picked 2 courses and applied it to them. And in those 2 courses, I got A's. And not just A's, 90s. And I have consistently used flashcards on almost all my courses ever since. Now here is a schedule that you can combine with flashcards. After you read something today, review it on day 2, day 3, day 5, and day 7. These are 4 short sessions that are spread across a 7-day time period. And I promise you, it's going to do more for you than one 6-hour-long cram session is ever going to do for you. Now, the easiest way to apply spaced repetition is to use flashcards in the Anki app. So here's how to go about it very, very easily. If you have a digital copy of your notes, either a slides or a PDF, then you can put it into ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Grok, or whatever. Then tell it to generate flashcards for you. Then put them into Anki and review them using the 2-3-5-7 schedule. When you are answering them, I want you to sort them into 4 groups. Cards that you got with ease, cards that took medium effort, cards that took real effort, and cards that you could not answer at all. Anki will sort them into 4 groups in such a way that the harder ones will come back sooner and the easier ones will come back later. The scheduling is automatic. You just open the app that day and everything just comes out for you. Now, when you are doing this, there's something that is generally more important than the actual answers. You have to actually attempt to produce the answers. Don't pick at your notes. Don't flip the flashcards then be like, oh, okay, I know it, then flip it back and try and answer. No. actually try and generate the answers from your brain. Because a correct answer you worked hard for is worth more than 10 answers that you picked out. And an incorrect answer that you got wrong honestly is worth more than both of them combined. Anyway, if you don't want to use Anki for this, then you have a lot of other alternatives. There is Thea, there is Quizlet. You can even use paper flashcards, because I even started with paper flashcards before using Anki. So now let's zoom out. You are not forgetting because you are bad at studying. You are forgetting because your brain is literally designed to discard information that it does not encounter regularly. The forgetting curve is always active, and your job is to build a system that runs counter to it and keeps you ahead. This system has kept me on a first class since day one, and I've realized that getting good grades is not about studying for 6 hours or cramming. It's actually more about studying in a way that works with your brain and not against it. Now, here's something that is very, very important. If in between your active recall and spaced repetition, you are going back to your notes and rereading them, then you are mixing oil and water. In the previous video, I broke down exactly why rereading your notes feels productive and why it's actually killing your grades. A lot of people reached out to me and told me that that video made something click for them in studying. And I genuinely believe that if you watch that video and come back to this, you are going to be enlightened a bit more. So it's on screen right now. And before you do that, I recommend you subscribe to this channel and like this video and drop a comment. It genuinely helps the channel. But anyway, lock in.